Okay, so hello and welcome class to our session for today. So we will have a sets of examples pertaining to derivatives. So as a start, we have problem number 13 from the previous 12 problems we had. So the instruction here is find the derivative of the following functions. So for number 13, uh, the form of number 13 is actually u over v, in the form of u over v. So the simple rule is v du minus u dv, okay, all over v squared. So ito yung rule, So ngayon, we are going to perform that one. So ito magiging dy over dx. So differential of y with respect to x. We just copy the numerator. We have x squared minus 4. And then derive, sorry, I think we start with copying the denominator first. Okay, v du. So our v is 1 plus 3x. This is squared. And then derive the numerator. Okay, we derive the numerator now. Okay, so the first term is x squared. So baba mo yung 2, copy yung x, implied na may 1 naman dyan. So yung derivative of 4 is 0. So I do not need to place that one. Okay, and then for u dv minus u is, we copy our numerator and then derive the denominator. So the denominator is in terms now of u raised to n. So let me reiterate that the ruling here is nu raised to n minus 1 at merong du sa dulo. So I'll just highlight this na merong du sa dulo dyan. So we are going to bring down 2 as its exponent dito and then just copy the expression 1 plus 3x, Again, we reduce it by 1. So, raised to 1 yan. Implied na 1 yan. We do not need to place 1 there. And then derive the inside term. So, the inside term, ito na yon. Yung circlein ko kanina na ito dapat. The last term will be d or derivative of the inside term. So we have here 0. And then yung nasa loob is actually 3x. Copy the constant and then derive the variable. So that will just result to 3. Okay. So we divide this by the 1 plus 3x squared raised to 2. So squared raised to 2 is raised to 4 na yan. Okay? So notice here that we have a common term. Ano yung common term? Ito. 1 plus 3x squared. So 1 plus 3x squared can be factored out. We have 1 plus 3x. So ang maiwan, perhaps we can place it in a bracket, May 2x dyan. 2x and then 1 plus 3x minus. Okay, so tanggal na yan. 2 times 3 is 6. This is squared. X squared minus 4. Okay, we enclose that by the bracket. And then all over 1 plus 3x raised to 4. So notice here that yung isang 1 plus 3x dyan is makakancel lang yan. Okay. So all we need is to simplify the equation, dy over dx. So ito, sa numerator, distribute mo lang 2x, 2x plus 6x squared minus 6x squared plus 24, okay, divided by 1 plus 3x Na-cancel yung isang 1 plus 3x, kaya ito, 3 na lang. Raised to 3. So, dy all over dx. Notice that this will just cancel, ano? So, again, we can factor out 2 between 2x and 24. So, labas mo yung 2. May 1 is x plus 12. All over 1 plus 3x cubed. So, in as much as we can, we should express our answers in a simplified form. Okay, so perhaps this is the simplified form of number 13. Okay, so next, number 14. So number 14, we perform this d over dt, no? So we derive this with respect to t. So all naman dito is in terms of t, ano? So we just apply this quotient formula, no? 1 over t muna. So we derive each of the term. Unahin natin to, and then to follow the second term. Okay, v du. Our v is t. Our u is 1. Differential of 1 is 0, no? Minus u. Differential of t is dt all over dt, or that is just equal to 1 all over t squared. Okay. So, ito naman, minus v is t squared. Du is 0, no? Minus u is t squared. Sorry. U is 3, supposedly. 3, okay. Differential of t squared is 2t times 1. Okay. So, we divide that by t raised to 4. So, ngayon, ito naman, wala naman yan. At ito, wala rin yan. So, we have negative 1 over t squared, okay, minus negative 6. So, negative times negative becomes positive, and then this is 6t, alright, t times 2, no? 6t all over t raised to 4. So, one of the t will be cancelled. So, the final answer would be, we have negative 1 all over t squared plus 6 all over t cubed. Okay, so this is the answer for number 14. Okay, moving on to number 15. Again, we derive this in terms of function of t. So, ito, u over v pa rin yan. Our v is t squared. Du is 0. So, hindi ko na ilalagay yan, ano? Minus u. U is t squared. Dv, sorry. U is 2. Sorry. Negative 2 na yan, ano? Dv is 2t. All over t raised to 4. And then minus v du. Ano yung v natin dito? V is t raised to 4. Du constant 0. So, mawawala na yun. So, v du wala na. So, proceed na tayo sa u dv. So, minus u our u here is 1. Differential of v is 4t cubed. Okay. And then this is t raised to 8, or 4 raised to 2 is 8 actually. So if we simplify this, tanggal yung isang t dyan, tanggal yung tatlong t sa taas. So happens next is, this is 4 all over t cube. 4 over, so don't forget the negative there. Negative times negative becomes positive, 4, wala nang t dito sa taas, nandun na lang sa baba, t raised to 5. And this shall be our final answer. Okay, so moving on to number 16. Again, we have a series of power formula in terms of algebraic sum here. We derive this in terms of y. So the first term is 2y raised to 4. So ibaba muna natin yung exponent natin. And then dati nang meron yung 2 dyan. And then y raised to 3/4. Dapat bawasan mo ng isa yan. Bawasan natin ng 4 over 4. 4 over 4 is actually 1. And then just derive y, or dy over dy is 1. So, hindi ko nire-reflect yan. Kung gusto mo, i-reflect mo. And then plus, baba mo yon, negative 1/4. Dati nang may 4 dyan, y raised to negative 1/4. Bawasan ng isa, negative 4 all over 4. So we just have to simplify everything. Ito, 3 over 4 times 2 is 6 all over 4. And then y raised to negative 1/4. Okay. And then plus 4 over 4 times negative 1 na lang yan, no? So perhaps we can have a negative sign here. And then y raised to negative 5 over 4. Negative 5 over 4. Okay, so ang ibig sabihin lang ng negative exponent is we'll just have to reciprocate that variables. Pag ni-reciprocate mo to, nasa taas yan, mapupunta yan sa baba. So 6 all over 4, magiging positive na siya. Y raised to 1 raised to 4, 1 all over 4, and then minus y, nasa baba na siya, dapat supposedly 1 all over y raised to 5 over 4. So if you want, you can express this into radical expressions. We have 6 over 4, we can reduce that into 3 halves, 3 all over 2 4th root of y. Okay, minus 1 all over 4th root of y raised to 5. So this will be our answer for number 16. Okay, for number 17, parehas lang. So similarly, we derive the functions in terms of s, So in this case, we have a radical. So ang ibig sabihin lang ng square root is raised to 1/2. So square root of s could be written as s raised to 1/2. So we imagine that s raised to 1/2 yung mga square root of s dyan. So anyway, we perform now the ruling. V du, what is v? 2. Du Differential of the numerator is baba yung 1/2, ano? Copy yung s. Dati nang may 1/2 dyan, bawasan ng isa, negative 1/2. Okay? ds over ds, that is just equal to 1. And then minus v du u dv. Copy yung numerator, differential ng denominator. Ang denominator natin is constant. So, 0 lang yan. So, mawawala na yung minus u dv dito. So, perhaps we can enclose this all over 2 raised to 2. Okay? Ito, v squared. And then we proceed to the second term here. Ano yung second term natin? We have minus na dati yan. No? So, i-close natin sa bracket. V du. So, wala na yung first term kasi v is square root of s differential of 2, which is constant. 0. And then u dv minus u dv. U dv. Ito. U is 2. Differential of dv, or the denominator is 1/2 s raised to 1/2 minus 1/2. Okay, kahit may 1 dyan, so wala namang bearing yan. Okay, so divided by square root of s raised to 2 is s. Okay, so in here, cancel naman yung isang 2 dyan. No? Or ito na lang cancel natin. So, ang naiwan is s 1/2 bawasan ng isa, no? Sorry. Yung isa hindi dapat 1/2, isa dapat. So, it should be 2 over 2. Sorry for that. Ganun din dito, 2 over 2. Minus 2 all over 2. Yan. Okay. So, s raised to negative 1/2. Okay. All over 4. Negative times negative becomes positive, ano? So, s raised to negative 1/2 pa rin yan, all over s. Okay? So, remember that all over s is all over s. 1, parang s raised to 1 yan, ano? Okay? Parang s raised to 1 yan. So that, simplifying the terms here, all we need here is to reciprocate all the negative exponent here, no? What I mean, dapat walang negative exponent. So, ibig sabihin nito, nasa baba siya. So, 1 all over 4 s raised to 1/2. And raised to 1/2 is actually square root, no? Square root of s plus, ito, nasa baba yan dapat. So, bababa siya. No? So, naiiwan sa taas is 1 all over, dati nang may s dyan, ang s raised to 1 is actually square root of s. Finally, this will be our answer for number 17. Okay? Okay, so let us have these problems. So, ito more on radical na tayo, no? So, anyway, radical sign is just treated as power, ano? Power, meaning gawin mo lang yan in the form of u raised to n. Again, nu, n minus 1. Dito may du. Okay? So, a radical sign will be just in terms of raised to 1/2. AR raised to 1/2 is actually square root of AR. So, this is the treatment. So, if we can see here, we're going to differentiate this term with respect to R. So, R is our variable, and yung A here will be treated as a constant. So, moving on for the first term, this is power formula. Power formula lang naman niya. We have the first term. Baba mo yung 1/2. Okay? Copy yung AR. Dati ng 1/2 yung exponent niya minus 1, 2/2. Okay? Differential yung ito yung du. Yung differential lang nasa loob is constant times variable. So, A lang yan. A times dr over dr. Okay, so done with the first term. So, second term na tayo. U over V na naman. V du, okay, sige. U over V is V du minus U dV all over V squared. Right. So, ano yung V natin? Square root of AR. Sabihin na natin AR raised to 1/2. Okay? Anyway, whatever. Magmumultiply rin yan sa differential ng numerator which is constant. Yung A constant yan. Differential of A is 0. So, mawawala na yung V du dito. And then, ang may iwan is U dV. Minus na tayo kaagad. So, U is A. Differential of square root of AR. Again, that could be written as AR raised to 1/2. Baba mo lang yun. AR yan. Bawas ng isa, 1/2 minus 2/2. Du, du. Differential of yung inside term. That is actually A. Okay? All over square root of AR. Magiging AR. Okay? So, we simplify the terms here. We have 1/2 AR raised to negative 1/2 times A. And then, in this case, tanggal yung isang A dito. Okay, what about the operation? Anyway, magme-maintain naman yung negative dyan. We have 1/2 A times AR raised to negative 1/2. So again, we reciprocate all terms with negative exponent. So yung A will remain at the top or at the numerator. Yung AR negative, yung exponent, kaya bababa yan. AR raised to negative 1/2. So dati nang may 2 dyan. So AR raised to 1/2 is actually square root of AR. Okay? And then minus, yung A magre-remain sa numerator yan. All over 2 square root of AR. And by the way, ito may R din dyan. All over R. That is why ito. Dapat may R dyan. Okay, kasi pag wala yan, it will just cancel to 0. So anyway, we have just omitted that one. And then, just place that R denominator. So the final answer is a all over 2 square root of AR minus a all over 2r square root of AR. Okay, so this will be our answer for the 18th problem. Okay, for the 19th problem, we have here another radical, but we can express this in terms of exponential form. So we write this as 4 minus 9x raised to 1/3. And then from this, we're going to execute the power formula here. U raised to n is equal to nu n minus 1 du. So again, do not forget this du. So first, we bring down 1/3. 4 minus 9x. We subtract 1 unit, say minus 3 all over 3, and then differentiate the internal terms, say 4 minus 9x. So 4, differential of 4 is 0. So I'm not gonna place that anymore. And then negative 9. Okay, negative 9. The x, differential of x is dx all over dx. So perhaps you can also reflect that one. And then finally, negative 9 all over 3, or that is equivalent to 3. Okay, times 4 minus 9x raised to negative 2/3. And then here we can bring down the negative expressions. Okay, say we have here 4 minus 9x raised to 2/3. Finally, this is negative 3 all over cube root of 4 minus 9x, and we'll just square the inside term. Okay, so that's it for number 19. So moving on to the number 20, we differentiate the function in terms of t. Okay, so similarly, we can write this in its power form, 1 minus 2t raised to 1/2. So we execute the formula. So 1/2, bring down, and then minus 2t. Alright, so 1/2. Bawas tayo ng isa. 2 over 2. Derive the inner portion. So 0. 0 na yung first term, and then negative 2. Okay. So as we can see here, we can cancel 2. Okay. So naiwan sa numerator is negative 1 na lang, no? Divided by, syempre, bababa yan. So 1 minus 2t, because we will yield at the negative exponent dito, no? Kaya bumaba siya. So finally, we have negative 1 all over square root of 1 minus 2t. Okay, so this shall be the final answer for the 20th problem. Okay, so we try another sets. So for the first 21st problem, we have a function in terms of t. We're going to derive that in terms of t. So again, this is an algebraic sum including exponential functions. So we do it directly. For the first term, we have, dati nang may 2 dyan, bababa yung 4/3. So 4/3 will be multiplied with the 2. So magiging 8/3 t. 4/3, we're going to subtract a unit and then minus. Dati nang may 3 dyan, times 2/3. So, that will be 6/3. 6 all over 3. So, t 2/3 minus 3 all over 3. So, all we need is to simplify those terms here. So, we have 8/3 t raised to positive 1/3. So, obviously, this is 2, ano? T minus 1/3 raised to negative 1/3. Okay, so we have 8t 1/3 all over 3 minus 2. Saan pupunta yun? Sa baba. T raised to 1/3. So, finally, this can be written as t cube root of t all over 3 minus 2 all over cube root of t. So, this shall be the answer. Okay. So, ayusin lang natin yung 3 dito. Cube root of t. So, this is the answer for that problem. Okay. Next. So, we have here another power formula because a plus bx, bs square root is just equal to this. So, again, we bring down that 1/2. Copy a plus bs, bawas ng isa, derive the inner term. So the first term will yield to 0, no? So yung second term will yield to b, right? Okay. So we have here now b all over 2, sorry, a plus bs raised to negative 1/2 all over 2. So, baba mo lang yung may mga negative or reciprocate it. A plus bs raised to 1/2. So, finally, we have b all over 2 square root of a plus bs. So, this shall be the answer for number 22. Okay. And the next, a term in terms of t, we derive that in terms of t. So d over dt is our expression. So this time we have here a product, product na to. Okay. So this is a typical product. So remember the formula, u times v. So we'll just have to execute u dv plus v du. Okay. So what is our u here? This is our u, and that will be our v. So doing that, we have u is t, derivation of v. Perhaps we can write that in terms of its exponential form, say a squared plus t squared raised to 1/2. So as usual. So i-derive natin to. So we bring down 1/2, no? Okay. Copy that. Bawas ng isa. So 1/2 minus 2 over 2. Sige, negative 1/2 na. And then derive the inner term. So the inner term, huwag mong do not attempt na. Sabihin mo 2a. Okay. By the way, a here is actually a constant. So kahit na nag-square yan, does not matter. So it is always a constant. So that will yield to 0 pa rin, ano? So, ang naiwan, yung second term, which is t squared, which can be derived as 2t dt all over dt. Okay? And then, for the second term, ito na yung first term na u dv, ano? For the second term, perhaps we can move this one. Plus v du, our v now is that term, square root of a squared plus t squared, and then derive u here, which is t. That will just yield to 1. Okay? And then here, we simplify terms. Okay? So, 2 here will be cancelled. 2 over 2 na yan, no? And then t squared, t and t will combine to t squared. Alright? And then ito, bababa yan. So, a squared plus t squared. So, raised to 1/2. So, raised to 1/2 is actually square root, no? So, plus square root of a squared plus t squared. So, now we'll just have to use this as our LCD. Square root of a squared plus t squared to merge these two terms, ano? So, this is just equal to 1, okay, times t squared, that is t squared, and then plus, okay, this term times this term is actually a squared plus t squared, no? So, we'll just eliminate this radical sign here. So, finally, we have a squared plus 2t squared all over square root of a squared plus t squared. So this shall be our answer for number 23. So this is an example of product rule in differentiation. Okay, so moving on. So we're gonna have this as our last problem. Last two problems. So number 24 is the in terms of quotient, u over v. As we all know, this is v du minus u dv all over v squared. So executing that one, what is our v? This is a plus x. Just have to copy that. Differential of the numerator. So of course, constant yung a dito, 0 na yan. So maiwan is negative dx all over dx, or negative 1. And then minus u. Ano yung u natin dito? A minus x. So a less x. Differential of the denominator. So 0 na yan. 1 lang yung dx. Okay? Dx over dx. So divided by, we have here a plus x. So this is squared. So I think we can just simplify terms here. Negative a minus x na yan. Minus a plus x over a plus x. This is squared. And then obviously, yung x dito will just cancel, ano? So yung naiwan, negative 2a. A plus x. This is squared. So this shall be the answer for the 24th problem. Okay? So may we have the last problem now. So this is again a quotient. Just have to execute this one. So we copy v. It is a squared minus x squared. Derive u. So again, this is 0, no? So we have 2x for this. And then minus v, u dv. U is a squared plus x squared. Okay. And close that by a parenthesis. Times the derivation of this. Again, this is 0. The first term, the second term is negative 2x all over a squared minus x squared. This is squared. Okay. So here we'll just have to, of course, distribute natin to, pati to. Okay, and then simplify. So we have here 2a squared x minus 2x cubed minus, okay, for our guidance, lagi tayong mag-shield dito so that we minimize errors in the sign. So for the meantime, ito muna. So negative 2a squared x. Alright. And then negative 2x cubed. Okay. So just copy that. Squared. Okay, so in here, if we're going to distribute the signs, this will become positive, ano? Positive, of course. Pag naging positive yan, cancel na yon. And then, this shall also become positive din, ano? So, kung positive yan, magko-combine lang siya doon. So, we have 4a squared x all over a squared minus x squared raised to 2. Okay, so as simple as this procedure, you can deal with derivatives problem. Okay, all you have to do is to practice, and of course that can be facilitated by your quiz for today. So I think you are now ready to have your quiz. So thank you for listening and good luck.